All right, guys, welcome. This is Offense in Review. I'm Billy Liucci. I am joined via Zoom by Stephen Esteban McLurk. Stephen McGee, what's up, buddy? I like these shows where we can kind of take an exhale after a bye week. I know you were stressing a road trip to Baton Rouge as much as I was, but we were both confident in that outcome, maybe not the way it was. I don't think I saw the Aggies going in and hanging half 100 on these guys. 49 points against what I think we rightfully said was going to be the best defense they faced so far this season. Really impressive showing, and like we said, it's fun to come in, and you and I love talking about these kind of outings. And to be honest, man, it's two in a row, right? Like the last two road games. God, that's crazy to think about, right? It's two road games and 94 points. I might want to start looking at some combined numbers from these two, but it's beyond impressive. I guess just started off with your thoughts of A&M 49, LSU 25.
Yeah, I guess the coach in me that doesn't exist would say, well, it very easily could have been 65 points,
Yeah.
It's not a stretch of the imagination, throwing a pick in the low red that, you probably could have scored a number of ways on that drive, right? So it was a fun game. I think most importantly, I think for a lot of Aggies out there, the question is, to be a championship team, you've got to play complete football, and you felt like you saw, especially in the second half, a complete football performance, right?
Right.
And really for the most part of four quarters, it wasn't all great. There's certainly a lot of mistakes, but part of me still is sitting here thinking, oh man, this football team still has its best football in front of it. And that's really what you want. You want your team to continue to just get better each week. And in doing so, stacking wins, right? And especially in college football where every loss really hurts. In the NFL, you can afford to drop some, right? And still be in the hunt. You just got to get hot late. So you definitely want to peak late, but you also can't be a development team that you're stumbling up and losing early games. And man, I think the grit, like this football team, they find answers. Like the big scores coming out of the second half, right? So it's those quick answers that just reassert themselves as, hey, we're the better football team. We're going to win this football game. Last week they did it. The week before they did it, right? We talked about the Florida game, the quick answer response. It's just different, right? And a lot of credit's got to be given to, of course, Mike Elko. We've sung his praises for a long time. But how about your quarterback? I mean, you're only going to go as far as your quarterback can take you. And I've been very vocal in saying this football team, with the talent that we had, or we thought we had going into this year, especially, which I thought was good. I didn't think it was as good as what it probably is. I felt like we had to have an elite quarterback to get to where we are.
Yeah.
And I think it's very fair, and not drinking the maroon Kool-Aid after we're 8-0 to say that he's earned that respect, right? Yeah. His play has not been perfect, but it's been really, really good. And he's playing at a really high level. And I think this team really responds around him. And so, man, to your point, Lurk, man, it was a lot of fun watching that one. All of the scenarios that happened, 35 unscored unmatched points there in the second half.
Yep.
Empty stadium in the third quarter. Brian Kelly with $54 million getting fired. That was not even on my bingo card.
No.
So it was as fun of a game to watch for an Aggie. It was just, and you're sitting there thinking, so man, the first half, you're kind of like, everyone's sick about, we should be up 21-9 and the block punt and everything. And it just flipped so quickly.
Elko,
and I think that's
and you mentioned Elko, and I think he flat out told him at halftime, like, you guys are the better team, and you know it. And we all know, you know it. I know, like, you're better than them. But if you keep screwing around, this is going to mess up everything, and they, it's really impressive to me how they take that message and they go out and it's a weird mix, right? Because they're emotional from the standpoint of, like, Cassius Howell getting in the guy's face early in that game to say, this is how it's going to go all day, man, all night. And then emotional in terms of like, fun is an emotion, celebrating, dancing, celebrating with your team, all that's emotional too. So they're not robots at all, but they do have this mindset of like, they know the moment to, it's like they have a great feel for the moment, and they're very methodical in what they do on, as a team over 60 minutes. It's a really unique thing. And you mentioned Marcel, and I do think he's a real conduit for all that, because we can take stats and we can go through and dissect the amazing throws and the misses and the great runs and the decision to run. But it's just, I just look at a quarterback, and you could see signs of it last year. And the most obvious example is LSU and coming off the bench. But you can go to getting the call right before the start in the swamp. And there were signs last year, but like this year when you go, okay, what has this team done? You mentioned the first play answer against Florida, right? Okay, you haven't been deadly accurate on deep balls up till that point, and then when you had to have it, perfect throw. But you can go to the 3 road games this year, right? Arkansas, LSU, and Notre Dame. You got a shootout that you knew you were going into with Arkansas against a bad defense. You got a game on the road in the toughest place to play in the country against what people were saying was a great defense. And you've got one against top 10, one of the best teams in the country in Notre Dame. You know what the point totals were? 41, 42, and 49. And if you go look at Marcel and what he has done on the road in 3 games this year, it's actually kind of mind-blowing. But I kind of go back to what you said earlier. It's not even about the numbers. It's just the mentality that he's going into these games with.
Yeah. I think he's got that it factor that's hard to quantify too.
Mm-hmm.
And guys in the huddle respond to him, and he's got charisma and swag. He's cool, composed. Yeah. I don't think the moments are too big. And I think, look, this is a demeanor the team takes on too. It's the highs and lows of winning. You got to learn to win. And certainly, a lot of these guys have gone down a painful stretch last year where they lost a lot, right? Mm-hmm. And they have that chip on their shoulder. But winning hasn't detracted their performances the next week, right? It's like, hey, we're on with that one. We're on to the next one. That's a very important mindset that I think championship athletes and teams take on. It's like, man, we're just focused on the next opponent, right? What do we got to do to beat Missouri? I don't care what everyone else is saying, singing our praises. But look, this is a team that can get it done in a lot of ways, Lurk, right? So that's the thing that, defensively, you got guys that can get after the quarterback. That's so important. I think it was a big question mark going into this year. Yeah. And, you're good. You're good on all 3 levels. Mm-hmm. Your guys have really competed. I'm not saying we're perfect. We got to be better on first and second down on defense. Completely agree. Mm-hmm. It concerns me going against a run-based offense, right? Yeah. Teams that can line up and play in front of the chains on first and second down and then mix in the quick game. I'm still perplexed at why LSU was trying to take downfield shots. Yeah, you were moving the ball, quick game, running the football, and they abandoned it. And they started taking shots, and that's when your pressure gets after you. They're going to eat. And
by the way, that reminds me too, like Colin Klein. You haven't seen much of that type stuff. I just feel like he's had every answer and been one step ahead of it. And you talk about, I don't know if I want to say growth, but just, a year of learning as he went with this conference, his quarterback and everything they went through last year at that position. And then to see what this unit looks like now this year and credit that whole operation over there for knowing like, hey, we're going to go add guys at receiver and at tight end that are going to complement everything else we have. And we're going to make our quarterback super comfortable with what we're doing and look at the end result. I think it's been a pretty masterful job and again, like you say about Marcel, like nobody's perfect, but you compare it to what other people are doing around the country. Colin Klein's got to be up for the Broyles Award this year. I know he's a semi-final, but I mean, if they were paring that list down today, it's a pretty damn short one that's going to include him.
Hey, thank you to Specs for this free portion of this interview. If you want to listen to the rest of it, go to texags.com/subscribe and become a premium subscriber. And if you're a student at A&M, you'll get that for free.